Okay, I'm a little bit late. Sorry about that. So let's discuss linking. In Unix or Linux, in general, we have three types of object files. We have discussed this one, relocatable object file. So each dashi file or each source file translates to a relocatable object file. So it contains all the binary instructions, the data defined in the source file, in a form that can be combined with other relocatable object file. So it's a module. It's a part of program, partial program. You understand tab -1. So these relocatable object files can be combined with other relocatable object files to create an executable object file. So this is not an executable object file. This is partial binary, and this is called relocatable object files. And compilers, assemblers generate relocatable object file. And executable object file contains all the binary code, instructions, and data in a form that can be copied directly into memory and can be executed. So executable object file should have all the functions and the data that are used by these relocatable object file. So sometimes each source file refers to a function in another object file. Then two object files need to be combined to create an executable object file. Or in a relocatable object file, it calls a function in a library, and then that particular relocatable object file that contains that function in that library needs to be extracted from the library and copied, combined with the relocatable object file to create an executable file. And this executable object file also contains some extra information that helps for the link loader to copy this executable file into memory. So it has some memory related information also, so that the loader can copy into virtual memory correctly. So these are real executable object files. And there is another type of object files. This is similar to relocatable object files, but this can be combined with executable object file at load time or at runtime dynamically. So it's a special type of relocatable object files, and this is to save space in memory and also in the disk space, because some of the functions are used by many different programs, and you don't want this file to be copied to every executable object file. That increases the disk space, and that also increases the memory space. So instead, they are loaded dynamically at runtime. So whenever it calls such as printf, that printf executable shared object file is linked at runtime. If it's called for the first time in the system, it will be copied from the disk space. But once it copies to main memory, then later other programs can be linked with this shared object file at runtime, because there is only a single copy in main memory that can be linked with different programs. Okay. The examples are DLL file, dynamic link libraries. So linkers, to create executable object file, it has to merge several relocatable object files and create a single executable object file. So each object file, some of the object file might be in a library. Okay, some of the object files are created by the compiler. Okay, and they have to link them together by, so linker should merge object files and create a single executable object file. So as we have seen in the previous lecture, the instructions, text sections are combined together, create a single text section, and the data sections are combined together, create a single data section, and so on. And some of the symbols in each relocatable object files are referring another symbol in another object file. These are called external reference. So as part of the merging process, it has to identify this external reference, which symbol it is referring. So if there are multiple symbol definitions, it has to reserve which one. It should reserve this symbol with the actual reference. So this external reference can be to another symbol, can be reference to a function in another object file, or it can be another variable in another object file. Okay? After reserving all the external reference, so identify this symbol is a function name in this object file. This symbol is a global variable in this object file, and so on. Okay? After it resolve all the external reference, it relocates symbol. So this means, so once you copy this text section and data section, in each locatable object file, the position of each variable or symbol is only relative position in that particular object file. It's not absolute position in the executable object file. So after you combine and merge text section and data section, their relative position becomes absolute position in the executable object file. And this executable object file are mapping to the virtual address space, starting from address 0 to 2 to the power of 32 minus 1, as we have seen in the MIPS example. Okay, the text particularly starts at hexadecimal 04 something, some numbers. Okay, and the data section starts at some particular address and so on. And these texts and the data sections are mapped to each section, and then their relative positions become absolute. This is relocation. So relocate symbols from their relative position in each object file to absolute position in the executable object file. And they need to update all reference to these symbols to reflect their new position. So before they only refer to relative position, they become absolute position in the executable object file. And as you have seen, the reference can be a function to a function or can be to a variable. So why we use linkers? So by using the linkers, programs can be written as a collection of modules. So it increases modularity. So if you want to create some function, you define a function and create a single module, and that can be linked with any other object files. So creating a single monolithic mass is not easy to share, because you don't want to copy all of them, right? You want to copy only the functions you are referring. So each function basically can be compiled and create and translate into separate modules. So once you build these modules, you can build a library of common functions. A library is a collection or a set of relocatable object files. So you create maybe a sine function, cosine function, tangent, and all these math functions, and create a separate object modules. Okay, separate source file, and you compile, create relocatable object files, and you have many these Dado files that are that defines each different function, and you can combine these related object files together and create a single set of relocatable objects, single set of these modules, a collection of modules, and create a library. So library is essentially a set of relocatable object files, okay? Set of modules. Okay? So set of related object modules. So it can be a math library, or it can be a printf or scanf standard I/O library, and so on. So if you create this kind of relocate object file, if you need to change some source file, then you need to change only that particular source file. You don't have to change the entire program. And you don't have to recompile other source files. And even though you create a library of common functions, whenever you want to use some of the function in the library, you don't have to copy entire library into your executable file. Okay? So for example, if you use only printf, the standard I/O library might contain 1,000 modules. Okay? You only copy printf.o from the library and link them together. But you don't have to mention exactly which one, right? You just say -l and standard library or sharp include standard I/O. Then the linker will automatically find, so it's trying to use some functions in the library, and it identify all the external reference. If there is a reference to that library, then it extracts those modules only, and it excludes other functions or other modules. Okay, and link them together. So space can be shared. Space can be shared. So there are different file formats. So early Unix system, they use A.out format. So when I was a student, I used A.out. And so by default, the executable file becomes A.out. But they are evolving. So Unix System 5, early versions of Unix System 5 use common object file format. And Microsoft Windows also use portable executable, which is a variation of this common object file format. So Microsoft Windows is not quite different from Unix or Linux, because it all branches from the early Unix designs. Okay? And modern Unix, including Linux. Linux is more open source Unix, and Unix was used for servers or workstations. They use ELF. So this is a standard binary format for all the object files. So there is only a single unified format for relocatable object files, executable object files, or shared object files. They all share the same format. And this is derived from AT&T System 5 Unix. It's a variation of COFF. And it's called ELF binaries. And they have some better support for shared library, which is dynamic object modules that can be linked at runtime. So let's look at this ELF file format. Okay, so there is a ELF header, and there is a section header table, segment header table, and all different sections. Okay, what's inside this ELF header? It defines world size. This executable file is for 32-bit processors, or 64-bit processors, or 16-bit processors, and byte ordering of the system, whether this is little endian or big endian, 1, 2, 3, you have to check top minus 1, top minus 2. Okay? So this byte ordering means so we have looked at this load instruction. So if you use base addressing, we can use like, okay, and in register R2, it might contain, let's say, 10,000, and address becomes 10,100. 10,100. 10,100 means right? Okay, and we are trying to load 4 bytes from here into a register, let's say R1. So if you have, let's say, 4-byte values, let's say you have character A, B, C, D, okay, 4-byte in this world. So this is MSB, this is LSB, most significant byte and least significant byte. So when you load or store, let's say this is store. So A, B, C, D, this is R1. So how do you store these values? There are two different options. You can store like A, B, C, D, okay? Or you can store A, B, C, D. So this one stores lower byte, least significant byte to a lower address. But this one actually stores most significant byte to a lower address. There are two options. And depending on the machine, x86 machine use one format, IBM PC, IBM PowerPC or IBM machine use the other format. It's called little endian, and the other is called big endian. And little endian, if my memory is correct, they store least significant byte to a lower address. Okay? C, B, and A. Okay? And the other, big endian means they store MSB into a lower address. So depending on the machine, when you copy data into memory, the byte ordering in the memory becomes different. Okay? So this is called byte ordering, and it depends on the system because of the compatibility issues. The IBM machines, they used to support big endian, and x86 processors support little endian. You can say English. Okay. Excuse me?
What's the reason? 그러니까 영어로 설명.
Okay, what are you trying to say?
그러니까 헷갈려서 그 A가 위로 가는 게 리틀이었거든요.
So lower LSB goes to lower address is called little endian, and the other is called big endian. Okay, you don't have to memorize. Okay, it doesn't matter. You just need to know there are two types of machines, and the ordering in the byte ordering in the memory is different depending on the machine. And one type is called little endian, the other type is called big endian. Okay. So they specify byte ordering, word size, and the machine type, the instruction set architecture, whether the machine language, such as IA32 or IA64 or PowerPC or ARM. And then in this header, it describes the size of this header and the type of object file. So it can be relocatable object file or executable or shared object files. It also has the offset of section header table. So the offset of the section table and the size and the number of entries in the section header table. So it has some global information about this object file, and it has information about the location and size of this section header table. Okay, that's the basic information in the ELF header. So this executable object file is created, for example, for 32-bit x86 processors, and they use little endian, and this size is this much, and this is for relocatable object files, and the offset and the size of the section header table is followed, and so on. It's just global information about this executable object file. And then section header table contains location and size of various sections. Okay, so for each section, text section starts at this offset and its size is this much and so on. Okay, each section, location and size, location and size. This is described in the section header table. And segment header table is required for executable object files. It's used for copy into main memory, so it has some virtual memory related information, page size, virtual and physical address of each segment, and so on. Okay? And then it is each section is part of this relocatable files. So you have text section. Text section defines machine instructions. Data sections are for initialized global variables. So in this example, this becomes initialized global variable. Okay? And this is also initialized global variable. Okay? This is uninitialized global variable. So initialized global variables are defined in the data sections, and local C variables, which means the variables defined inside functions, are local variables that are created dynamically at runtime. Okay, in the stack, and you don't have to create in the data section. Data section is only for global, only for initialized global variables. Okay, uninitialized global variables are occupying BSS section. It's called block storage start or better save space, and it is just a placeholder and do not occupy the space. It's just uninitialized variables, global variables, occupy this much area, and that's all. Because you don't have to, they don't have initialized values, so you create at runtime, load time. You don't have to create runtime, but it just say you need to create this much space when you load this system. So it's just a placeholder to save space. You don't have to create empty locations in the executable object file because it's uninitialized. You can create dynamic at load time, and you can initialize at the time. Right? All this will be initialized at zeros. Okay? You don't have to have space. Okay, because it's uninitialized. Initialized, because you initialize exactly in the program, you need to create data section and record those initial values for each variable. Okay? So for each source file, each C source file, if you define global variables that are copied into data section, uninitialized global variables are counted and marked by this BSS section, and all these instructions that are codes are created at the text section. Okay? And then all others are extra information. There is a symbol table which has information about functions and global variables. What kind of symbols? Okay? So compiler generate this kind of symbol table information as a result of compilation, so that it can be used by the linker to combine different relocatable object file. Because whenever you have external reference, you have to identify which symbol it's referring. And you can look at this symbol table to identify what kind of symbols are defined in each relocatable object files. And there is a relocation information for text section and data section. So some of the text section, there are some reference to a function or reference to a variable. Okay? But the absolute position is not determined. So it is determined after you merge together by the linker. Okay? It's marked as this is you need to relocate by the linker. Okay? So it has some relocation information for the text section, which means address of instructions that need to be modified in the executable. So in the instruction, there are some address of the function or address of the variable, but you don't know the exact address or exact function address, right? After you combine them together, then you can identify absolute position of each function or each variable. So it's marked as this is somewhat tentative. you have to relocate later. Okay, and that information is created by the compiler, and it's in the relocation section. So there is a relocation for section for text instructions and relocation section for data. Okay, so for example, so this means this pointer is pointing to the address of this global variable, right? But this global variable, we only know the relative position. This is the first global variable in this object file. But we don't know, in the executable, we don't know the absolute position of this variable. Once you merge them together, the absolute position of this variable is determined. Then that address needs to be copied into this address. Okay? This is initialized global variable. Okay? So this, you have to mark this is also, you have to relocate by the linker. So you add some relocation information. Relocation information means the address needs to be modified by the linker. Okay, so you need relocation information for instructions. You need relocation information for the data section also. And address of pointer data that needs to be modified in the merged executable object files. Okay? And then if this is relocatable object file is created by -G option for debugging purpose, and for debugger, compiler creates some information about symbols. Okay? So the debugger, to help the debugger, and also create line section so that line numbers in each source code correspond to which machine instructions. So that when you use the GNU debugger, you can identify. So some instruction, this machine instruction is actually referring to this line, this actual C statement in the original program, and so that you can debug. Okay, that is the line section. And then all the symbols, the actual strings are defined in the string table, and this string table contains symbols in the symbol table and debugger. So all the symbols, character strings are defined in this section. Okay, quite simple. Okay, let's discuss life and scope of an object. So we discussed global variables, local variables, or static local variables. Let's define them more clearly, the meaning of each variable. This is called life and scope. Each object has two meanings, life and scope. Life of an object determines whether this object is still in memory or not. If it's in memory, we call the memory, this symbol or object is live. If it's not in memory, then we say it's dead. Okay? It's not live. And the scope of an object determines whether this object can be accessed at this position. So scope means if you define some variable, where you can access this variable. You might access some local variable, means you can access this variable only within the function. But outside of the function, the object is not feasible. Okay? Global variable might be feasible, can be accessed any of the source file or in other object file also, as long as you define that global variable as an external variable. Okay? So some global variable has a scope of entire program, local variable has a scope of only within that function, while in a block structured program, even in C, you can define a variable within some block, and then the object is visible only within that block. Okay, you can define either function or within the function within a block. Okay, that's the scope. Life means whether you have a location in memory. So local variables, whenever you call the function, the local variable becomes live because you allocate space in the stack frame. Whenever you return from the function, the object disappears. Okay, it's not live. Okay, it's becoming live or dead. depending on the call sequence. Global variables are always live, right? Because they always has a location in the static memory. Static memory means throughout the program execution, you always has a permanent location. We have reviewed, right? Static means it's like permanent position, right? Okay? Stack means it's like contract. Heap is also dynamic. So it is possible that object is live, okay, which means object is in memory, but may not be visible. Okay, that's possible. So if you define some variable as static local, which means it's a function local variable, but this is static. That means scope is only within the function, but outside of the function, the variable is not visible, cannot be accessed. Then if you go into that function, if you call that function, the object is live, static local variable is live and visible. But when you return from the function, object is still live because it's allocated in the static memory, but it's not visible, it cannot be accessed because it can be accessed only within the function. Okay? But it is not possible that object is visible but live. You cannot access an object which is not in memory, right? So this is not possible, impossible. Okay. So let's look at each variable. The first one is called the local variables. These are the variables defined inside the function. And the scope of these variables is only within that function. And the life of these variables ends when this function completes. When this function returns, it completes. When you call it, this becomes alive. So whenever we call the function, the storage for the variables are created and the values are reinitialized every time you call that function. But static local variables, so even if you define variable within a function, if you declare them as static, it means you don't want to lose the values of these variables. The scope is still within that function, but you allocate these variables into static memories segment in the virtual address space. So they have permanent position. So if we want the value to be extend throughout the life of a program, we can define the local variable as static. Okay? And initialization is performed only at the first call, and the data is retained between the function call. Okay? These are called static local variables. 턱 깨고 있으면 졸릴 텐데. So, sometimes, as we have discussed, sometimes you want to use some variable within only that function, but across the function call, you want to see the previous value. You want to retain the previous values. There are two options. One is you can declare them as global, right? The other option is you can declare as static. That's more exact, right? You only access that variable within that function, but you can maintain or retain the values across the function code because it has permanent location in the static memory. Okay? These are static local variables. Global variables are variables defined outside the function. So in a C source code, .c file, if you create a variable outside of any function, then this means you are creating a global variable. Okay? The scope of these variables are throughout the entire program. And the life of these variables ends when the program completes. Okay? But if you want to use this global variable, you have to define extern. Okay? You have to mention exactly. If you are defining some external global variable, right? You have to define extern integer something. Right? There are other type called static variables. So these are, you define a global variable, right, outside of function, but you declare them as static. This is not static local. This is in a global space outside of any function. You declare them as static. These are called static variables. static variables. The difference is static variables are local in scope to their module in which they are defined, but life is throughout the program. Static variables, they are also have permanent position in the main memory, in the virtual address space. So their life is throughout the program execution. They are live, they have permanent location. But their scope is only within that file, within that module. So if you declare some variable, so let's say in a C program, if you declare integer a, b, and static c, and then function main, and then you define and so on, and other functions. And these are global variables, but these are static variables. So you can reference these variables outside of this function by referring in another file, maybe extern, this is defined externally, and integer a. You can use these variables, right? But you cannot use this variable. This is defined in the global space, but this variable can be accessed only within this file, not from other file. 흰 그게 어디 갔나? integer a, b. This is global, this is static. This means this variable can be referenced only within this file, within this module. Okay? So it has file scope. This is global scope. The variable defined within a function is called local scope. Okay?
근데 이거 안 배우는 게요. 한국말로.
You need to practice. Speak in English.
저게
No, English. It's okay.
읽을 때요. 그러니까 그 뭐라 하지? 스태틱이면은 스태틱인데 왜 읽을 수가 없어요? 왜 쓸까? 밖에서 이해가 안 가는데요. 주소가 안 나와 있나요? 주소가 실행을 안 하는.
Scope means all the variable has a scope, and all the variable has a life. Okay. Scope means in a program which region this variable can be accessed. Okay. So this is a variable local to this function, this procedure. So you can access this variable only within this procedure.
근데 스태틱이면 일단 주소가 정해져 있는 거잖아요. 주소가 정해져 있으면은 그 주소를 알면 읽을 수 있는 거 아니에요? 왜 굳이 이 안에서 읽을 수 있는 건지.
That's for
주소가 아니면
and this is global variable, and this is global variable, this is uninitialized global variable. If you access that variable outside of scope, then it means it's referring to other variable or it's undefined because it cannot be accessed. Each variable has particular scope because it has that particular purpose. Okay? Okay, let me continue, and then you need to static variable. If a static variable is defined in a global space, say at the beginning of a file, then this variable will be accessed only within this file. It has file scope. Okay, so if you have a global variable and you are distributing your files as a library, and you want others not to access your global variable, only within your files, then you may make it static by prefixing keyword static, which means sometimes this is used by many different functions within the files. But you don't want this file visible to other users or other programmers. Okay? In that case, you can declare them as static, so that you don't want mix with other programmers' code. So for that particular purpose, they create this kind of static local variable. It has its own purpose. Okay?
So the global variable can be visible in the other program?
Other object files, other source files. But you need to make them external. You have to declare you are using that variable. Then you can use all these global variable. Okay? 전에 쉽게 설명하면, let me speak Korean a little bit. 아니 뭐 변수 이름 있는데 다 사용하면 되지. 그런 식으로 마구 사용하면 되는 게.
그게 아니라요. 그 각 변수에는 이미 주소가 지정돼 있잖아요. 그러면 그
주소가 있어도
알면은 메모리 안에 읽을 수 있는 거 아니에요? 왜 아무리 그 정해봤자 스태틱으로 정해져 있으면은 루트로 있을 거 아니에요? 자기 멋대로 들어가겠지.
그 일리걸지. 스코프를 위반했으니까 C 랭귀지의 프로그램 시멘틱이 그렇게 사용하게 되어 있는데 그걸 위반했으면 안 되지.
그러면 주소는 있는데 일부러 숨기는 것 같은 느낌?
그렇지. 그 안에서만 쓸 수 있도록. They are limiting the scope.
글로벌이랑 동일하게 그러면 메모리 저장되어 있는 거는 하는 거 자체가
It's also in the data section. Okay? Okay. Let's talk about symbols. This symbol is different from the variable. It's symbols used by the linkers. Linker classifies symbols in global or local. There are three kinds of linker symbols. Global symbols that are defined by module M and that can be referenced by other modules. So non-static C functions and non-static global variables are global symbols. And there are global symbols that are referenced by module but defined by other modules. These are called externals. So some global symbols are defined by this module and some global symbols are defined by other modules, and this is called externals. And local symbols that are defined and referenced exclusively by module, this module. So static C functions and static variables. Okay, this may confuse you, but there are slight difference between these, and there are three. So linker to the linkers, they are not dealing with local variables, right? They are only interested in global variables or static variables, right? Clear? Local variables, they don't care. It's made at runtime by the stack frame. Okay? The linker creates space for only global variables and variables declared as static. Those are what linkers are responsible for. Okay? And these global variables and static variables can be classified into three different types. That's all. this is trying to say. Some global symbols are defined by this module and can be referenced by other modules. Okay? Some global symbols. So it's defined by this module and can be referenced by other modules. Some variables, some symbols are defined by this module and used exclusively by this module. Those are usually declared as static. Okay? Static function names or static variables are defined by this module and it's used only within this file. Okay? And this is called local symbols because it's used by this module only. Okay? And some symbols are not defined by this module. It's defined by other module. It's called externals. Okay? There are three types. Some symbols are defined and can be used by other modules. It's called global modules. Some symbols are usually defined as, declared as static. These are defined by this module and used by only this module exclusively. This is called locals. Some symbols are not defined by this module. It's referring to another symbol in an external space. These are called externals. Okay? So you can classify them into three different types.
What is the difference between the symbols and variables?
Symbols can be function name or can be variable name. Okay? Because symbol is the terminology for the linker. Linker, at the beginning, it doesn't know whether this is a function name or variable name. It just identifies this is a symbol. Okay? If it's defined locally, then this is local symbol and used by exclusively by that file. This is called local symbol. It defines by this module locally. It can be used by other files. It's called global symbol. Some of the external symbols, it doesn't know whether this is a function name or global variable. So it's just an external symbol. Okay? Symbol can be a reference to a variable or reference to a function. Okay? Let's look at the example of symbol table. So after the compilation, the compiler generates this kind of symbol table. So what are the symbols created by each module? And this symbol table is for this program. Okay? Okay, so main.c, it might have bop main swag. Okay? So it has three symbols, buff, main, swag. And these are the data structures used by the Linux for this symbol table. So it starts at, this is string table offset. Each symbol string is actually defined in the string table section. So as we have discussed in the object file format. So it's referring to symbol string table entry number 8, 9, and 10. Okay? The name of variable is buffer, main, and swap. And this section index is, this buffer should be a global variable. Right? It's initialized. So this should be a index, section index to the data segment, data section. And this is for the main function. So this should be a section index to the text section. Okay? For each section it has an index. This is for, so this belongs to the data section. This is a global symbol. Okay? Global symbol. It's a kind of object. And size is 8 because this is created for 32-bit processors and this has two words, two integers. Okay? So each integer is 4 bytes, so it occupies 8 bytes. That's the size of this data buffer. and value is the relative position in that in this section. This is for the data section, and this is the first global variable in that object file. So its relative position should be 0 because this is the first variable. Okay. So this shows this buffer is a global variable in a data section, and the size is 8 bytes, and the relative position is it starts at the data section 0, address 0. Okay, and main is belong to text section, and this is also global variable, global symbol, and this should be a function. Okay, because it has an access to this source code, right? So compiler only look at this file, main.c file, create main.o. So this is a function symbol, global function symbol. And by looking at the instruction, it has 17 bytes of instructions. So the size is 17 bytes. This is for x86 code. Okay. So each instruction is not 4 bytes. Each instruction can be 5 bytes or 4 bytes or 2 bytes. It's CISC architecture. Okay. So there are 17 bytes of instructions in this text section, and this should be the first beginning. Okay, so the relative position of that main function is 0 it's the beginning address of that text section. Okay, and swap is undefined. It's external symbol. Okay, it's undefined. I don't know, for example. So it has to be resolved by the linker. Okay, which type, I have no idea whether this is a variable or function, I don't know. Okay, and the relative position is 0. Okay, size, I don't know. And so we create this kind of symbol table. Okay.
What is NDX?
This should be a section index or something like that. Section, text section, data section, PSS section. You have an index number, section number for each section. Okay. Let's talk about the symbol resolution. So compiler creates these relocatable object files. Okay, we are talking about the linker. We are not dealing with the compilation process in detail. Okay, we have reviewed briefly what is the compiler, what's the job of compiler. Assume that we have this relocatable object file, text section, data section, and PSS section, and we have also symbol table. We have also relocation information, which address we need to modify and so on. So each compiler generates each kind of relocatable object file. The linker job is we are trying to merge these relocatable object files together and create a single executable object file. And as a part of this process, we want to identify for each relocatable object file some reference. If there is an external reference, is this external reference is to a variable definition for this in this file or function definition in this file and so on. We have to resolve each symbol to a definition. Okay? That is the symbol resolution. The linker associates each reference with exactly one symbol definition. It has to be clear, right? Should not be ambiguous. So if reference is referring to a symbol defined in the same module, then it's quite easy, right? Because the linker, this definition is referring to this symbol, right? But resolving reference to global variable or external variables are trickier, right? The same symbol might be defined by multiple object files. Sometimes you define integer a, external. This is global external variable, and you link them together. Sometimes variable a is defined here, and variable a is defined in another object file, maybe in the library. Okay, which one this is referring is may not be clear. There should be a rule. Okay, to avoid confusion. So we can classify program symbols either strong or weak. You can classify strong symbols or weak symbols. Okay? Strong symbols, all procedure names are strong symbols. And all initialized global variables are strong symbols. Okay? Uninitialized global variables are weak symbols. Weak symbols. Okay? At compile time, the compiler exports each global symbol to the assembler as either strong or weak, and the assembler encodes this information implicitly in the symbol table of the relocatable object files. So here, this is initialized global variables. It means it's a strong symbol. This is function name, strong symbol. Okay? This is uninitialized global variable, weak symbol. Weak symbol means it may cause some problem. Okay? So strong symbols are better, right? If possible. This is strong symbol. These are the linker symbol resolution rules. Okay? A strong symbol can only appear once. If you have a same name, two different strong symbols, then it means programs are wrong, right? Compilation or errors or linker errors. And you cannot create an executable object file. Okay? There should be a single strong symbol definition. So same function name should not appear twice. Okay? Same initialized global variable should appear only once. Okay? A weak symbol can be overridden by a strong symbol of the same name. So if you have an integer a in this file, integer a in this file, and if this integer a is initialized, this is uninitialized, this becomes strong, this becomes weak, all reference to symbol a should refer to this strong symbol. And this is ignored, overridden by strong definition, strong symbol. Okay? Reference to the weak symbol reserved to the strong symbol. If there are multiple weak symbols, the linker can pick anyone. Okay? This may or may not cause problems. Okay? Because most of them are weak symbols, then depending on the linker, it might choose this one, it might choose the other one. Okay. So there are some complexities. In this case, what happened? Is this weak or strong? So what should we do? Two strong definition. Okay? A strong symbol can only appear once. So link time error. Two strong symbols. Okay? Okay, this is weak, this is weak, this is strong, strong. So depending on the linker can choose either definition. Okay? Reference to X will refer to the same uninitialized integer variable. But this might refer to here or there. Sometimes this is confusing, right? Really what you want. Okay, in this case, strong, strong, and we have three weak symbols, and this is referring to the same variable A. This is starts to confusing, right? So what happened? So in this code, you assume when you create this file, you assume X is referring to this double precision floating point numbers, right? But sometimes linker choose this definition, and if you write to X in P2, it may override integer y in this definition because linker choose this one. If linker choose this one, so write to X in P2 might override another variable in another file. It's possible, right? Because the linker can choose arbitrarily anyone. In this case, this is a weak symbol. This is a strong symbol. So this should refer to this one. Okay? So this kind of complexity can occur during the linker time. So compilation, no errors. But linker, it may create some problems also. So if you have two identical weak structures compiled by different compilers, and then this can cause some problems. Okay. Okay, so after the symbol resolution, once the symbol resolution has been completed, the linker associates each symbol reference in the code with exactly one symbol definition. So if possible, it should refer to the strong symbol definition, otherwise it choose some arbitrarily weak symbol definition. And the linker knows the exact size of the code and data section in each object module. So it can now determine the absolute address of each function name, symbol, and each variable. Okay? And relocation consists of two steps. First, relocate sections, merge all sections of the same type into a new aggregate section. So if you have 3 Dado files, you extract text section from each Dado file, merge them together and create single text section. Okay? You extract data section from each locator object file, merge them together and create single data section and so on. Okay? So data section from all the input modules are merged into a single data section. And you assign runtime memory address to new aggregate section and to each symbol defined internally in each module. So because you merge them together, now the function symbol, the address of the instruction, address of the functions become absolute. Also the address of each variable, global variable, becomes absolute in that executable object file. Executable object file means, okay, you are copying into virtual address space, which is you are copying into this, for this processor, you are copying into this space. So text section goes to here, okay? And data section goes to here, okay? And this is the beginning of the address. So if you compile link main.o, a.o, b.o, each text section from main.o, a.o, c.o go into this section, and their function address becomes absolute. Each data section from main.o and b.o, c.o goes into this section, and their position becomes absolute position in this space. Okay? These are created at runtime. You are creating this compile time executable. And then you can relocate symbol reference within the section. Within the section, modify external reference so that they point to correct runtime address. So you have relocation information. Some of the instruction address in the instruction need to be modified. Right? If you are calling to a jump and link to a factorial, you don't know the exact factorial function address. But after this merging together, you know the factorial address. So you have to modify by the factorial address. Okay? And if you are referring some variable name, okay, the address of the variable becomes absolute in the data section, then you need to modify and so on. So modify all these external reference so that they point to the correct virtual address. To perform this step, the linker relies on relocation entries in the relocatable object modules. So this is in the relocation information for the text and relocation information for the data. And using that information, you modify and then create executable object files. Okay, so for this example, you have main.m.c, a.c, okay? So for main-c, you have text segment text segment, and this is for the data segment. Okay? A-C, you have this data segment. This is external global symbols, and these are initialized global variables. This is uninitialized, and this is the code for A-C. You have these data section and BSS section and the text and the data section. Okay? And you might link with system library. The system library also has text and data section. You need to combine the text section together. Okay? main.o, a.o, and the system code, and more system code, and create a single text file. You need to copy data segment together, create a single data section. You have to copy BS section and create a section for the BSS section. And then you create symbol table debug. That's all. Okay? And this is the section relocation. Okay, 여기까지 합시다.